and then create psychological safety, not just for those of us who have struggled to feel psychological safety in the organization, but there is a
Right.
new cohort that's not feeling psychologically
That's right.
safe to learn. It has to apply to all of us. Like, we can't just
Yeah.
say, I need psychological safety as an
Right.
LGBT.
Right. Yeah. You know so much.
Right.
Yeah.
We can't we can't resent people and say, well, you don't deserve psychological safety. I don't care if you're feeling afraid. The
Well,
fear,
or
the fear is information.
yeah, or the presumption that privilege equals psychological safety. That,
Right.
when
Right.
you haven't even worked the architecture of what accumulated advantage in your own life looks like, so you feel like privilege is an accusation that really shouldn't stick to you, then a whole nother level of assuming that your privilege is therefore makes you safe. Wow, you lost me at privilege. I mean, it's not so simple. We've started pairing psychological standing and psychological safety because it invites everybody to think about the me in it, the what's in it for me, how do I stand, where's my voice and agency with everyone, especially
Mhm.
those of us maybe who are from every point of advantage like I am, who might think therefore I don't really have a place in this. And like you said to the seedling metaphor, I love that earlier. If everyone's a seedling in this garden, everyone's got to get nurtured, and the presumption that you've got all the water and dirt you need to grow, it just isn't necessarily accurate. And
Right.
it means we have we have to think about the ecosystem, and we have to individualize it. And that's, I think, a challenge for the scaling part. Is like, how do we
Yeah.
recognize there's strategies and metrics and positioning in the organization and communications work, all kind of the big levers to pull around DEI as a strategy. And we're acutely aware of how the energy in it and the momentum in it comes from individual hearts and minds being changed. I mean, I think of executives that we work with that have been a part of an executive sponsor for an ERG that's just changed their lives, or
Mhm.
they have somebody on their staff who uses the word queer and it's completely challenging to them because it's not a word they would ever use, and now they get to learn how. Or I mean, or to globalize the conversation and say, well, it's illegal to be X in that place. So how do we do this? And
Right.
for me, I think one of the thing that's the part of the wind that's from the right direction, not in our faces, is the curiosity and the empathy. Feels to me like there's some fundamental things underlying what we call DEI and identify as identity points, like actually caring for other human beings as a function of leadership work and being committed to improving and to critical thinking. We're suffering, I think, on all three of those fronts right now, and they're to
Mhm.
some degree as fundamental or underlying to what DEI can become.